Well, we know Travis is going to be going in the first round. They're talking about him possibly going to Cleveland. Look like that's going to be the landing spot, according to reports. Would that be the best fit for Travis? Do you see Cleveland making that call and pulling the trigger to pick Travis at the number 2 spot or trading back? I've also seen reports that they're fielding calls along with the Giants, or both fielding calls for the number 2 and 3 slot. What are your takes on that, Duke?
Man, I don't know, man. It's hard. It's hard to tell. I mean, I think if I were to predict how the draft were going to go, I would say Travis 2, Shedeur 3 for what makes the most sense. But yeah, it's hard to say, especially like all the smoke screens that are coming out right now, and people trying to get more draft capital and having their secondary picks. Right now, I'm hearing multiple things about the Giants at the 3 pick. Just talked to a guy who has a lot of pull in one of those organizations that say Abdul Carter may be the 3rd pick of the Giants, depending on who Cleveland selects at 2. So that Cleveland isn't totally out of the Shedeur Sanders business at this point. So you just don't know how it's going to go. It can shake out anyway, man. And this one, the only thing I'm going to say is I predict Cam Ward to go 1. I predict Shedeur to go top 10. I predict Trav to go top 5. At the very minimum.
I co-sign that, dude. Chico, if you don't mind, man, put the order as it stands up on the screen for us, the draft order, if you don't mind. I agree with that, Deuce. I think those are my locks as well. Cam first overall pick. Travis will be gone within the first 5. I won't even say within the first 3, and Shedeur in the top 10. Having said that, I would just be shocked and amazed that the draft order that's about to come up on the screen stays the same through the first round. Somebody's going to make a move. Now, what they make that move for and what they're trying to do with that move, I'm not even going to sit here and try to crystal ball that. But I don't see, the first 21 picks in a row remaining the first 21 picks. Somebody's going to give up something or move back or move up. Something's going to take place in that regard. So, yeah, you look at 1, 2, 3, Titans, Browns, Giants. What I'm hearing scuttlebutt-wise from the Giants out of their camp is, just who is going to really have final say in this decision. I hear that the ownership is big on Shedeur, but the coaches, want to go a different direction. And with that coach being on such a hot seat, do the owner step in, go, no, do it our way, or does the coach get to say, hey man, if I'm truly on the hot seat, as Bill Parcells said, let me pick my groceries and judge me by what I cook then. Don't give me what I don't want and then fire me. So I think that's going to be the dynamic at 3 right there. But if you look, on out through those top 10, you could easily, we talked about last night with the Jaguars, and if they're really going to get ready to move on for Trevor Lawrence, and they're building a new stadium in Jacksonville, ownership there is player-friendly ownership. Same thing with the Raiders, Jets, Panthers, and Saints. So all of that, you just really can't be surprised what happened because everybody has a need.
Agreed.
I think Dukes broke it down the other day. The Browns have how many picks? Browns have about 10 picks?
Yeah, they got a lot of capital.
They have a lot of picks right now, so it really is not going to help them any to trade back as of right now. They have many picks, so they can, go ahead and pick that player. What do you think?
Let me slightly disagree with that, particularly being loaded with picks. And I'm not saying trade back with this first one. I'm talking about just the totality of their picks.
Yes.
What the Browns can't afford to do, they can't afford to use all these picks on guys coming right out of college. At some point, you've got to get veterans in there if you're trying to win and be competitive in this division now. And so I could see giving up, a pick or 2 for a veteran at whatever position somewhere to help you out in the now. Because whether you get a Travis or whether you get a Shedeur, if you only surround them with people their age and their experience, you still got some growing to do the next 2-3 years. So you're going to need some more veterans on that roster. And with the amount of picks that they have, I wouldn't be surprised they use some of them for that. Last night, someone asked, what about using some of that to get Travis and Shedeur? And to me, that's what I was talking about, Deuce, is the same situation. Like you're giving up probably about 4 of your 10 picks to make that happen. And in aggregate, how much better did your team get for the next 2 years when you gave up so much as far as being able to get bodies in? Because I don't think here's where I think you go wrong, Chico. I don't care who your GM is, who your owner is, what your needs are. When you're in doubt, pick the best person available.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're at the playground about the shoe ball.
Yeah.
Like, man, pick the best dude available, man.
Yeah.
Right.
With 9 picks and I would say a lot of holes to fill out there. Let me see. Number 2 overall, number 33 overall, that's number 67 overall. Another 3rd round pick, number 94 overall. So your strategy would be to bring in some veterans with those guys. I'm gonna
No, I
ask you,
didn't say what my strategy would be. I said
okay,
that's something they got to consider.
what would your strategy be? And then I'm gonna ask Dukes the same thing.
Well, it would be 2-pronged. One, like I just said, I'm gonna pick the best person available when my pick comes up. And then when I get about halfway through that process, I'm gonna see who else out there hungry for some picks and see what veterans they have on their roster, such as if I'm in need of an offensive lineman, if I'm in need of somebody, I'm playing like I'm the Browns, if I'm in need of somebody else to help Myles Garrett, like in the secondary behind him, that's when I may look at giving up 1 or 2 picks to get me a veteran in. I don't think that I would give up 4 or 5 picks to get another rookie in.
I think to answer your question, I think you got to consider where the majority of their picks are. So I believe, I ain't mistaken, like out of the 9 or the 10, they got 4 of them in the 6th round. So I think from that point, that perspective, where I think do you package 2 of those up to move into the 5th, and then maybe get a 4th and maybe a 4th and the 3rd and move into the 2nd. Like those are the type deals that you would have to make to where you can try to take the capital from the 6th round and try to move up as much as possible. And there's a lot of willing and dealing that goes on. So are 2 of those 6th round picks what you offer to the Falcons for Kirk Cousins, as we've seen? If they don't go Shedeur, do you bring in Kirk Cousins and you give 2 of those 6th round picks to the Falcons, or 1 of them? Based on that's the deal that circulated in Atlanta today after Kirk Cousins was seen in Cleveland not too long ago. So you just don't know, man. If I was the Browns, I would trade back up and get Shedeur if I could. If I found it reasonable enough where I could get Travis and Shedeur, I 1,000% would. 1, you're gonna pack out the stadium, so the ownership gonna be happy. 2, you got a wide receiver 1 and a cornerback 2, because you already got one of the best corners in the league in Denzel. And then 3, it helps you. You got 2 guys, 2 impact players for cheaper than you can get players of that impact under your current salary constraints, because you got to get rookies when you already paying a defensive end quarterback money. You got to get rookies when you got one of the worst contracts. Let me phrase that. When you've got one of the worst return on the investment that you have on Deshaun Watson. So when you got
to get the phrase right the first time.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to play political, man. Some people. Well, shout out to David Milligetter. But yeah, man.
Do you not to cut you off, but do you think they have confidence that Deshaun Watson can come back this year and actually perform?
No, I think they moving on as if, because he can't come back until I think mid-season. If the early returns on him, if he does come back, it'll be mid-season. But right now, they gave him a fully guaranteed contract, like at $240 million. Like that ain't. So that's a $250 million. That was unheard of at the time. But shit, you got to get your money, man. Like what they say, you found your man. And I got a real good story about how they made that come about. But like I said, like when you got that, you got to get starters for as cheap as possible. Now, if you have more of a guarantee on the starter, then yeah, I would try to do that. Now, do I think it's feasible? I don't think so, because you got to try to hit on those 6th round picks. Now, you got to get starters. And that's the only way this man gonna be able to keep his job. And I think he's a pretty good coach, but you got to get starters. And I remember when the Falcons went to the Super Bowl in 2016, the mandate for Arthur Blank was you got to get 3 starters out of this draft. 3. And I think, right, and outside of the first round. So really 4. And I think the Browns have to get multiple starters. So if it's me, you got to look at the first round pick as a starter. You got to look at your second round pick as a starter. And then the third sometimes is a little iffy. But if you go to a non-premium position with your third round pick, then you go get a running back who can be your bell cow back in the third round. And then I package the rest of those guys up, those 6th round picks, to try to get as much capital to try to go get another a non-premium position, whether it be a tight end, whether it be a linebacker, whether it be maybe a nickel corner, one of those non-premium positions, or a center, or somebody that you could package those 6th round picks up for to move up into the 4th and try to get your 4th starter. So that would be my draft strategy of all the Browns.
Yeah, don't forget they do have that 4th round, 104 overall pick also, along with those 4 6th round picks and the 7th round pick. If Shedeur happens to slide, as they say, I can see a scenario where the Browns could trade back into the 1st round, maybe in the late teams, or maybe at that 20 spot with the Broncos, to get in front of the Steelers to possibly make that happen. And then, you know what? Why that would make sense to me from a business standpoint, if I just gave Deshaun Watson all that money, like you said, guaranteed, how can I make that money back guaranteed? If I got Shedeur and Travis in town, hey, I'm making my money back. And then I'll be, letting go of Deshaun Watson will be way easier then. I won't be looking at, I lost a lot of money. Well, I got Shedeur at quarterback and I got Travis.
I can put the order back up, Chico. Let me tell you why I could see that happening. Titans go Cam Ward, right?
Yep.
Browns go Travis.
Mm-hmm.
If the Giants are smoking and don't pick Shedeur, if you go down that list, right, you gotta hope that the Raiders, Jets, Carolina, and Saints don't. Right? So let's imagine that they smoking that good dope too, and they don't. Once you get to 10 through 20, everybody arguably got their quarterback.
Yeah.
And so it's like when you look at the current order of 1 through 9, if he doesn't go there, it would be 21 before it comes back up again. Because everybody in between, are firm with what they have at QB, pretty much, unless they do a Falcons move. And so then you could see the Browns say, "Oh, whoa, shit! If that's gonna sit there on the table, then let's offer the Broncos something to hop in front of them. What that may be, who knows, or what have you. But let me just tell you this: the reason I don't see that happening is I don't see through 9 smoking. It can't be that much weed in the nation. Like, how did that high grade quality hydro get in all these different locations where 3 through 9 so high that none of them grab Shedeur?
They on that good.
Yeah,
They
like
on
that's beyond the prime tax. That's just straight up like hypocrisy, player hating. Throw a dash of racism in there. Get every damn thing you can on the table. That would be all that stirred up together.
Yeah, I just think that'll be a dumb GM. But if he slides like you said, the Browns, hey, y'all do what y'all got to do. If y'all take Travis, y'all do what y'all got to do to get back up there and get Shedeur. But who knows what'll happen? Like Duke said, it looked like Cam Ward the only lock right now. But y'all stay tuned. Coming to you live from Country Prime will be Shedeur's draft party. And from Green Bay will be Travis's Travis walking across the stage, shaking the commissioner's hand and grabbing that jersey after hearing his name called. So we'll transition from that